On behalf of the Badminton Pan American Confederation, we warmly welcome you to our Coach Corner program. My name is Richard Wong, and it's my pleasure to be the moderator for today's session. We will now move to our offices in the city of Lima, where we'll be addressed by Mr. Armando Bruni, who is the president of the Pan American Badminton Confederation and the Salvadoran Badminton Federation, and also president of the Olympic Committee of El Salvador. Go ahead, Mr. Bruni.
Have a very good morning, dear friends. As the president of the Pan American Badminton Confederation, I want to warmly welcome you to the 13th season of Coach Corner. Are we about to start? This initiative is incredibly important for us because I genuinely believe it is. It is a project that has shown excellent results across America. But also, at a world level, it is being taken as an example because although this initiative was born in that difficult time of pandemic, but where we all had to remain connected, developing our sport, because now on a daily basis, it has become a program quite successful, and that is beginning to be imitated in other latitudes of our world. On this occasion, we are going to start strengthening the doubles a lot. Men's doubles, women's doubles, doubles is mixed. I want to express my deep gratitude to our first participant, who will impart a wealth of knowledge to be applied within each of our countries and among all our athletes across the various modalities. Additionally, I would like to inform you that we are diligently working to integrate new elements into Coach Corner. Badminton, and for badminton, which are obviously trends in our sport. A special thanks to the staff of the Pan American Confederation that, thanks to all the work that is being done, we can continue with this initiative, and obviously to all those who tune in to each of these days, who connect, who are pending, because they are really the ones who keep alive this great initiative. Without further ado, dear Richard, I'll hand it over to you. Greetings to everyone.
In today's session, we have the honor of welcoming one of the most influential Polish coaches in our sport, renowned for his extensive experience working with both conventional and para-badminton players, significantly contributing to the development and growth of both disciplines at an international level. Before giving the floor to our guests, let me tell you a little about Professor Wojciech. His national playing career, he was a member of the Polish national team for 17 years, from 2000 to 2017. He's a certified international coach and tutor. He holds advanced certifications as a BWF Coach Level 3 in 2022 Denmark, and BWF Education Tutor Level 1 and 2, leading training courses in various countries such as Spain, Italy, Israel, and Poland. Leadership in Training and Development Programs, he is currently the National Coordinator of the Under 13 and Under 15 Player Program in Poland since 2023. And he plays the role of Technical Director at Badminton Federation of Lithuania 2024. In addition, he has been a head coach in multiple international camps and Olympic preparation programs. Good evening, Wojciech. Welcome to our program. Thank you for joining our audience and welcoming us from your house in Puszczykowo. We invite you to take control and share your screen.
Good evening, and thank you for the invitation and introduction. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon and good evening, because I saw already on the box that there's a lot of people also from Europe who are following this webinar. So welcome, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the women's doubles, men's doubles, and mixed doubles skills we need to perform on the higher level. And so that's the topic of the session, on the today's session. And the focus we are going to talk about is, of course, technical skills, tactical skills, and also communication. Of course, there's also another aspects, but these are the three main topics we are going to talk about today for this session. Okay, so we can start with the technical skills, and we have a few bullet points, which are for me one of the most important part. Of course, some of those skills are also needed for singles, but this is what I think the double players need. So one of this is the racket position. What does it mean in horizontal and vertical? So it's very important in doubles to adjust the racket position up to the situation on court and up to the, of course, our situation as a players, but also the opponent, where they are and where is the shuttle. So what does it mean? We need to move all the time our racket up and down, left and right, just for the better reaction and have a better position for the next strokes. This is one of the most important part, I think, which is defining the top players and middle level players. The top players, they're always adjusting the racket to the better to create a better situation for themselves. And then we have some middle level players who are most of the time handling racket in the same position, so they always need to make some swings to react for the opponent's stroke. So this is a very important point for me. Use the fingers to hit the shuttle. Sounds obvious, but it's not always obvious. We have to use the fingers just to have a better control, but also to be more unpredictable, to have more options when we are hitting the shuttle. And this is very important in doubles. And of course, when we are starting with smaller players and young players, they are using a bit longer swing when they are hitting the shuttle. But as long as they are growing, we should make the swing shorten and shorten. And at the end, we have to use as short swing as possible. Also, it's needed to stay into the court, because if we are, for example, playing drives with two big swings, then probably we can play too long strokes and lose the point. So this is very important to use the fingers when we are hitting the shuttle. Accuracy, we use double lines, not single lines, and also front court and back court. So of course we know that the court for all double disciplines is bigger. Okay, it's more wider. Of course, it's long length is the same, but it's more wider. And this is, I think, another aspect which is defining the top level players. The top level players, they are playing really to the sidelines, to the double sidelines, and the middle level players, they are playing to the single lines. So, and I will present slide afterwards about this. Where's the mid court? This is question. I'm not going to deeper about this because there's another slide, so I'll present this later. Swing of the racket. This is a bit connected with the using the fingers to hit the shuttle, but if our racket, and also with the racket position, if our racket position is correct, and if we can play with the fingers, then the swing for the stroke is very, very small. And if we see now doubles, which is very fast, all double disciplines are very fast, so we cannot make a very big swings to hit the shuttle. Then next bullet point is variations. And variations, of course, are very important in all badminton disciplines, but again, I'll talk about later in the next slide. Footwork. We have some specific footwork for the doubles. We see the difference of the footwork compared to single players, where single players are more using their running footwork, and double players, they are using more footwork with jumpings and one step, connected with strokes with one step. So it's also more specific. And of course, change the pace. And this is really connected again with the using the fingers, with the racket position and swing of the racket. So all these technical skills are needed to being able to change the pace in the game. And this is really crucial because the top level, all players can play fast, all players can play really to the sidelines, and all players can use they are using variation, they have a footwork, they are using their fingers, they have a good racket position. So somehow we have to create some kind of advantage, and I think change the pace is one of the most important at the top level. Midcourt. first answer for the question I asked already. Midcourt is slightly behind the service line, not too deep, because if we play midcourt too deep into the court, then we can provoke our opponents to hit hard drives to our side. So this is very, very important when we are playing the midcourt, to aim just behind the service line, not really into the middle of the court, because really middle of the court is a bit deeper, but this is a bit dangerous. And also, its midcourt is different if we are talking about the forehand and backhand of our opponents. Of course, this is depend of left and right hand, but in general, it's more safer to play to the backhand side of the opponents, because they are not able to create that much power with the drives. And I'm not saying that we have to play always to the backhand side of the opponent, but we should be aware where the opponent's backhand is. So of course, again, what I said already, this is depend also if we are playing against left-hander or right-hander opponents. Strength variations. One of the main reasons we are doing this, of course, is just to surprise the opponents. But also all these variations we should use also to create better situation for our partner. And this is again, we will talk a bit later about the communication, but this is very important in all double disciplines. So we are not playing for ourselves, but we are trying to create the situation for our partner. And how we can create this situation? If we talk about the variation, we should use the size of the opponent's body. So we cannot play all the time to the same place. So we should use backhand and forehand side of our opponent. We should make a variation of the offensive strokes, like drop shot, smash, and of course clear in women's doubles and mixed doubles. Power of the strokes. This is very important, because we are not able to play all the time full power smashes, because our opponents can adapt to the situation. So we should use different kind of let's say offensive strokes, different kind of power. So sometimes we are using full power, sometimes we are using just less power to surprise our opponent. And of course, angles. So sometimes we can aim with our smash to the back line, sometimes more stick smash. So this should be all connected again. So angle can be connected with the sides and also with the power, and also with the smashes. So all this kind of strokes variations should be all the time connected. But the main idea is just to work for our partner, to create better situation for our partner to score the points, because this is about the cooperation. Court size. And two examples how we can use court size. This is what I told already. So we can play more to the sidelines, use really sidelines, double sidelines when the opponents are front and back. So we see the zones where we most likely we should play our strokes to make it difficult for our opponents, and use not single lines but really double lines, and also be aware where is really midcourt. Or we play something to the back, more offensive, or we try to play something soft. So again, and also we need to be aware if the opponents are left-handers or right-handers, or they are mixed, and who is in the back, who is in the front. So this is all the information, but this is the idea to use double lines on the side when the players are front and back. And of course, when the players are side, we are looking more for playing soft strokes to the just behind the service, just behind the net, or really to the back court. And of course, a lot of people can say there's also space in the middle of the players. Yes, that's right. But when we are talking about court size, we are looking for sidelines or front and back. And then when we are able to open the court, playing into the middle of the players is more useful. But this is, in my opinion, the next step of playing badminton. So that's all about the technical skills. Now I would like to go more for tactical basic skills. because I think there's a lot of more, but because of this webinar cannot be for 4 or 5 hours, that we have to really go for basic tactical situations. So I'll go through all those situations to explain this bit more. So we will talk about the service situation, we will talk about the preventing situation, we will talk about the scoring situation. I would like to also say a few words about the rotation, keep shuttle low, play to the empty space, and create 2v1 situation. So first, and I think the most important, is the service situation. Why is the most important situation? Because this is the way how we are starting our rally. So it's how we are going to start, and most of the, let's say, most of doubles, women's doubles, men's doubles, and mixed doubles, the average of the race is 6 to 8 strokes. Of course, we can see some really long rallies. I don't remember the world record now is over 2 minutes, but average of the rallies up to 8 strokes. So the first 3-4 strokes are very important, and this is again basic situation when we are serving. So most of the time we have 2 options. We are playing just behind the service line, or into the service line, or to the back of the court behind, close to the center line, just behind the players who is receiving, to create more difficult angle for the opponent. Of course, and we are talking about the situation where when the opponent is right-hander. So then we are creating a bit more. We are creating for him or for her a bit more difficult situation. But of course, in an advanced situation, we have much more options. Up to 8 to 10 different kind of serves we can use. But in general, the basics are like when we are serving, so we are serving just into the service line, or just slightly behind the service line, or to the end of the service box. And we can see some difference of the receiving. So we can see in the center men's doubles, where they are receiving, they're really waiting on the service line. Then we go to the women's doubles, where they are deeper into the court. So then we have a bit more space in front. And in mixed doubles, of course, this is depend who is receiving our serve. Okay, the second situation is preventing situation, and we have 2 different kind of the preventing situation. Depend, of course, who is defending in the straight players who is more on the sideline, or players who is more to the center line. And of course, we have at the end in the mixed doubles situation when we have a man on the straight way of the offensive player, and woman which is more on the crossway from the offensive player. So this is actually the situation we would like to have in mixed doubles in the preventing. But we can see some difference, for example, on the left side, where we talk about the women's doubles. So we see the first options. Of course, we talk about the basics. They are more to the mid court or to the back of the court. And the difference is, for example, in the men's doubles, where we are looking more for the net strokes and the mid court. Why it's like that? Of course, because smash is much stronger in the men's doubles. So we are really looking for. We are really trying to neutralize the situation, and of course the players from the backcourt, they can really jump from side to side and play really offensive strokes in the women's doubles. But again, I need to admit that this discipline is changing a lot. So we can see from last 10 years that the women's doubles is going more towards the men's doubles. So we can see a lot of much more offensive situations like it was before. Where girls played a lot of clears and let's say defensive strokes. Now they're playing really offensive game, but still we can see that when they are preventing, so where they are defending, they are looking more for the mid court and the back of the court. Where when we are talking about the men's doubles, we are looking more for neutralizing the situation. So we are looking more for the space in the front or mid court. And the same is in the mixed doubles, because in the defense we are trying to again neutralize offensive play from the back of the court. So we are looking for the net and mid-court. And in this case, of course, it's very important, the next step, because it's very important who is following up. And if we talk about the men's doubles, most of the time, the one who is following, the one who is playing the stroke is following up to the net. In mixed doubles, it's more like, doesn't matter who is playing the stroke, always the ladies that are following up to the net. So it's different kind of rotation, but we are going to talk about this a bit later. So also the net step is very important, and we should see also the position on the court, where the players are waiting for the strokes. For example, in the left court, where we talk about the women's doubles, we see that the players who is in the straightaway from the offensive player is not that close to the sideline compared to the men's doubles and mixed doubles. And the reason why it's like this, because in the women's doubles, angle of the smash is not that, let's say, it's not that steep, and the power of the smash still is not that strong as the men's doubles. So there's more time to change the racket position for the forehand and create a better situation. So in this case, in the women's doubles, we can see where the straight court player is more waiting in the middle of half court for the smash, and try to also change the grip when the smash is going really to the sideline. And for example, in men's doubles, mixed doubles is not enough time for that. So the players are really close to the sideline to prevent this kind of situation. So there's not so much grip changing in the preventing situation in men's doubles and mixed doubles. And in women's doubles, we have more this kind of situation. And of course, with the preventing is also reaction for the drop shot. And so we have this on the slides on the screen at the moment. And again, we have women's doubles, men's doubles, and mixed doubles. And we can see where the players are most of the time playing the strokes after the drop shots. Of course, this is depending of the quality of the drop and how high we can catch the shuttle. So of course, if we can see a lot of space, we should look for the net strokes in front of the court, because one player is already there, so it's easier to switch from defensive to the offensive situation and just change the situation on court. And we see the blue lines where the players who is responding for the drop shot is more on the straightaway from the offensive player, and the red lines are for the players who are on the crossway from the offensive player. And of course, after the drop shot, we are sorry. After the drop shots, there are always options. If we are too low on the net, we have to play again lift and move back again to the defense. But as fast as it is possible, I think the players after the drop shot should try to switch from defensive to the offensive position. And if they are pushed to play lift, the idea is in men's doubles and women's doubles to move the offensive player from side to side. But in mixed doubles, we don't see already the cross lifts, because we do not want to create a situation when the girl is in the front of the offensive player. So that's the biggest difference between men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles, where we are really playing when we are in the, let's say, in the defensive situation. So with the men's, most of the time they are playing straight lifts, and the women's, they are playing more cross lifts to stay away from the, let's say, as far as possible from the offensive players from the back of the court. And from the other side, we have also the scoring situation. And actually, we can see some difference in all disciplines, because on the left, again, in the left box, we see women's doubles, where we have a basic, still we are talking about the basic situation, drop shot in the middle of the players. Then we have two smashes. Of course, one is to the sideline, and the second is in the middle of the players, where is the conflict zone. But also in the women's doubles, we can play clear to the back of the court. And this position is displacement is very important, where to play this clear to be as much as possible offensive. And again, we are talking about the situation when the, let's say, blue players are all right-handers, so the clear should go just slightly above the left shoulder of the opponent. Sorry, we'll go to the last slide. Yeah, so and men's doubles, more or less the same options without clear, of course, because it's not that easy to play clears above over the players, because in men's doubles they can still jump and they have a higher point of the impact. So we are not really playing to the back of the court. We try to keep a good angle and play it down into the court against this players who is the straightway and in the basic situation. And in mixed doubles we have more variations already. We have still, again, we have a clears, but we try to play clears against the women's just to create more pressure. So at this court we can see five smashes, five offensive strokes. Let's say 2 drop shots and 2 smashes and 1 clear. So 5 offensive strokes are targeted to the women's, and only 1 is going on a straight way to the men. And this is the reason, because men's in the defense, they are trying to help, so they are moving a bit to the side, to the center, towards to the female players, and they are creating some space on the straight line. So then really offensive players should be aware of that and play this smash straight. And of course, this is depend of the partner, because this is what we see also. It's very important. Where is the front court player in all those 3 situations? So if we see the women's doubles, then the front court players is really on their side, and the men's double as well. It's really on the same side, maybe a bit closer to the net, because needs to be aware for the soft reply, what we saw already in the last slide. If we see the mixed double, so the partner in the front is more shifted to the center of the court, because we know already that the more than 80% of the options is going to the female player on the other side. So it's not really that important to cover straight line like in women's double and men's doubles. It's good. Then we have a rotation and some difference. If we can see the top level players and how they are rotating, so they are in the women's doubles, we can see a lot of rotation. We can see a lot of rotation when the players are changing from the back to the front and again. In men's doubles, we already can see who is really in the top level, which one is really front court player, which one is more back court player. And in mixed doubles, of course, there's no rotation in the offensive situation. The reason is because we already saw in the prevention, first options in the defense for the women's doubles is playing to the mid court and to the back court. So the front court player is trying to cover, is going to cover more mid court on the other side and also back of the court. So then you can see much more rotation. And of course, there is one more option for the offensive player who is playing to the back line of the opponent's court. So these are the, let's say, biggest reason why we are seeing a lot of rotation in the women's double. In the men's doubles, we see the front court player is moving more to the sides instead to the back of the court, because he needs to be aware more for the soft replies to the net or also some kind of drive supply. So he's trying to close the angles on the net. And then we are not seeing a lot of rotation in the men's doubles. Of course, there is some rotation, but again, not that much like in the women's doubles. And the mixed doubles, of course, we try to create a situation when the women are always in the front. So back court players are only, let's say, they need to cover the mid court, but they are not really going to the net. Of course, there are some situations where it happens, but in general, let's say in the basics of the mixed doubles, we cannot see so much rotation during during the game. Play to the empty space. Of course, there's many situations where we have a look for the empty space. I already mentioned this, that we should use sidelines or maybe from the back of the court. Really look for to open the court when we are playing all double disciplines. But also there are some differences where how we are looking for the empty space on court. If we talk from the left side again, from the women's doubles, so we have two strokes to the net. Of course, because and of course it depends what is doing the player on the other side. It always depends because we are talking about tactics. So it's not black and white. We need to be aware again if the front court player on the other side is like left-hander or right-hander is moving to close the angle, is moving more to the sideline or is more covering the crossway. So these are the main factors where we should use playing the straight to the net or cross to the net, or we can play over the player. Yeah? So it's to the back line, because we saw already that this is in the women's doubles. This is the way how we are building the situation. So we are playing more to the back of the court at the front. But again, I need to admit that it's women's doubles. This discipline is going more toward to men's double style, but it's still not the same. And then we go to the middle court when we see again left and right. This is the same. Depend where the front court player is really, or is left or right hander. And of course, it's not that easy to play over because a man's on the net, they can still jump. And the player who is covering the back of the court, he can also jump. So we are not looking for really high lifts when we are looking for the empty space. We are looking more for the flat game. So it's again, 2 strokes on the net, but also the one we are playing to the back of the court is not really high, it's more flat stroke. And mixed doubles, we have all the same options like we had already in men's doubles, but also because we know already the man on the back is trying to cover the space and help the front court player, so we can play also over him because it's easier than in men's doubles. So this is also the option to play over the back court player to the rear corner and try to create some pressure also from the back of the court. And the last part I would like to talk is I think is very important. How is the communication between the players? So why the communication is very important, what to communicate and how to communicate, when to communicate, and who needs to communicate. So it's of course we can say why the communication is very important. Because if we play doubles, it doesn't matter if it's men's doubles, women's doubles, mixed doubles. If one player has some idea, doesn't mean the partner know this what is in his or her head. So this communication is crucial, just to create more pressures against the opponents and just play faster game and don't have any conflict zones and stuff like this. So the communication is very important. What to communicate in the service situation? It's very simple, because we need to know what my partner is serving, so where or what kind of serve my partner is using, but also we need to be aware what kind of the strokes we are playing when we are replying on the serve. So or we create more pressure, or we try to play more soft to the net, or we are going to play more to the sidelines or more to the body. Then we can adjust our position on the court for the next strokes. And this is what I mentioned already. Service situation is one of the most important in all doubles disciplines. Also, we can communicate where to play offensive strokes, where to play defensive strokes, where to play, where we are going to play, when we are looking for the empty gaps. So, or maybe what kind of pressure we would like to create against the players. so which player, maybe one player is weaker or maybe not that good at the moment. So that's very important to communicate that. How to communicate? So we have different ways of communication. So we can have also, of course, verbal communication, which is quite obvious. But we have also kind of non-verbal communication. So when we are serving, we see already in the backs, behind the back, some players are going to showing us some options we are going to serve. But also the position on court can show what kind of strokes we have to play. So if we have this offensive situation, for example, if we can see as a backcourt player that my front court player is closer to the sideline, then I should look more for the straight offensive strokes. But if my partner is more is more shifted to the center of the court, maybe then we should look more for the strokes in the middle or also cross offensive strokes. So this is very important. So again, this is the way of the communication we can use. When we can have a communication, of course, this is simple. We can communicate between the relays. That's obvious. We can have a communication also during the intervals, but also we need to have this is what I mentioned. We have a communication during the race, and that's again, it can be verbal communication. Who needs to take the shuttle in some conflict situations, but also about the position on court. So that's again when, but also how and who needs. Of course, most of the time, who is doing the communication. Most of the time, in doubles, we can see some kind of leaders. So this is the ones who are mainly they're talking. But again, it's very important. It's not always 50-50, but it's very important not to dominate the communication. So because front court players can see something different from on the other side of the court, but also backcourt players, they can see something different. So for example, backcourt players can communicate what they can see from their perspective, but also front court players. So this is very important, and it's very important actually in mixed doubles. Because we see a lot of times where backcourt players trying to say a lot of times what the front court players need to do and how they need to play, and because it looks very easy, but to play on the net is not that easy. How it looks from the back of the court. So it's very important that this communication, again, I'm saying it's not always 50-50, but it's two ways communication, not one way communication. Between the players. Okay, and then we have questions.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move to our questions and answer section. Please, if you have any questions or comments you want to share, write them down in the chat box. We already have a question from Novalis. He's asking, or they're asking rather, can a player who plays men's singles play men's doubles and mixed doubles since the rules and techniques are not the same?
Sorry, can you repeat one more time? Because I cannot see this question.
They're asking, can a player who plays men's singles play men's doubles and mixed doubles since the rules and techniques are not the same?
Well, the question is, the single player can play doubles, right?
Yeah, would it be advisable for them to play doubles or mixed since the disciplines are a little bit different?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think first of all is just to understand to use a different strokes. So we play more offense as we saw already. The offensive strokes are really located more on the straightaway and the middle of the players. So and drop shots and smashes and clears are a bit different in mixed doubles, of course. But what I see what I can see when a lot of let's say single players they're playing doubles. they are playing too many crosses. So that's a first. So just to be aware, just to play more straight line. And also the first step should be the two first steps is just to let's say realize the new situation during the service situation, who is covering what, because this is very difficult, and to develop the stroke which is not used that much in the singles. So this is to playing from the mid court to the mid court and from mid court to the net. And this net is really in the front of the service line, not behind the service line. So let's say these are the three main advices what the single player should realize to move for doubles.
Okay. And he follows up with another question. In a mixed doubles match, men's doubles, women's doubles, how should you position yourself on the court during a defense to intercept the shuttlecock heading towards the middle of the court so that both players don't hesitate to look for the shuttle?
We all go to the back in my presentation. Sorry, I have to switch one more time my presentation. Right. I think we are talking about this preventing. So can you repeat one more time the question?
He was asking, oh, unfortunately, I lost the question. I think he was asking, where can you position yourself so that if your opponent smashes or plays a shot to the middle of the court, that you don't have to question who gets the shot?
That's a very good question. Yes, we see the cross-call player. So at this free course, we talk about the player who is on the left side of the court. First of all, his position is a bit closer if we talk about the relation between my partners. So then it's very important that not staying in one line. So they are not in one line. Always the cross-court players is a bit closer to the net. So then actually the distance from the offensive player is the same. And the second, how we can adjust our position is depend if the backcourt players is in really good position or is not in a good position. Because if in this case the blue player on the back is in balance, let's say, then I think we should be more. We cannot stay that close to the net and that close to the center line. But if we see that the backcourt player on the other side is a bit off balance, then we should stay closer to the net. But also then we can adjust our racket position depend on the situation. So if we are right-handers, we can move our racket and use already the forehand grip. Because if the blue player is off balance, it's very difficult to play from that position the cross strokes. So first of all, is adjusting the body position, depending on the situation, a bit closer to the service, a bit closer to the net, but also, and this is what I mentioned already, adjust the racket position if opponent is in balance or off balance.
Okay. All right. Harold asks a question. He says, what decision to make when both players do not agree? What do you do with a team that players don't agree?
Yeah, of course. And this is depend when. If it's kind of the communication, the after match, because it's very important that I think I forgot to mention this, when to communicate was more focused during the game, but it's also important to have a communication before and after the game. If it's after the game, I think the best answer is just to see video if it's possible, because our feelings are sometimes completely different than what was really happened on court. So then we have the option, but probably I guess, but I think so. That was the idea of the question. What we have to do during the game, what is on court, if we do not agree. So first of all, we have to realize if it's really common situation or it was really single situation. It was really exceptional situation. We should not care about this because maybe it will not happen anymore during the game. So we should not waste our energy for that. But if it's really common situation, then maybe coach should help. That way, I think this is the role of the coach to help with this kind of situation because it is possible that players cannot agree. But I think in this situation, this is the role of the coach.
Okay. All right. We had some more questions, but unfortunately, we've come to the end of the session. So hopefully we can pass the questions on to you and you can comment on the YouTube video when it comes out. Okay. So thank you very much, Professor Wojciech, for sharing such an interesting presentation with us. It has been very enriching to have them in the program and learn about the different training offers in your sport. Before closing today's webinar, we salute all our audience who joined us today, especially those who sent in their photographs. Thank you. Okay. This is a shuttle time course in Trinidad in January 2025. And we have Jose Alcatar de Mexico, Sibo. Okay. Many thanks to our audience. Oh, sorry, there's more. Edward Perez from DOM, and Nelson Javier from DOM. This seems to be some more shuttle time activity. We'd like to thank all our audience, especially Sebastian from Argentina, Davales from Benin, Bruno from Brazil, Christina, Raul, Victor, Emmeline, Harold from Colombia, Adrian, Gelsey, Randy, Arian, Camilla, Evans, Elliot, Lydia from Costa Rica, Marcel from Congo, Roland from Cuba, Nelson, Christian, Edward from DOMREP, Pete from France, Arnes, Mantas, Nojus, Need, Namida, Rokas, Skaja, Tadas and Urte from Lithuania, Jose and Karen from Mexico, Andrew, Bartos, Darius, Francis, Gabrielis, Fred, Joanna, Michaelis from Poland, Victor from Peru, and Dai from Senegal. On behalf of Badminton Pan America, we thank you for your participation and hope you enjoyed today's session. Stay well and stay safe.